Huh? I don't think. Hi, good morning. I'm just testing the speaker and microphone. Hello? Hello? Yeah, it's okay. What is the time, beta? Good morning. Namo Nama. Before we start today's session, let us chant Om Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Whenever we are sitting on the floor, please take the leg like this. Notice, take the leg close to your genitals, the other leg upon it, and sit. There are many who cannot sit like this. People can sit in the chair. The main when you're pulling your leg, sir, the leg should be near the genitals. That is the area between the anus and the genital. That area is known as perineum. The leg should be slightly touching on those areas because our body energy lies on that area, which is known as Muladhara Chakra. You will find great rishis and saints, they will be sitting in a chair, but with one leg folded. The leg folded is actually touching the perineum. I will show you once. People who cannot sit on the floor can sit like this. This is the position you will find most of the Maharishis or yogis will be sitting like this. The reason is the heel of the left leg is touching the perineum. What happens when the leg touches the perineum? When the leg touches the perineum, the Muladhara chakra is activated. One does not feel much hungry or thirsty, and they can control their emotions a lot. That could be a reason why the rishis can sit for hours together without eating or drinking. So let us start today's session. First, we do the exercise for the neck, Sukshma Vyayam. for Griva Shakti Vikasa. People who are having cervical spondylitis, please don't do this exercise. Head forward and backward slowly. And head left and right slowly 3 times. I would like to say one more thing. Whenever you go for a walk, run or anything, in between, just keep your head and look at the left and look at the right. Automatically, your back posture becomes correct, straight. So please do that whenever you're taking a walk, because unknowingly we bend forward and walk. So by just looking up, down, and looking left and right, your posture becomes correct. Now the next we will do is Kanda Shakti Vikasa. That is the shoulder exercise. This should be done by people who is having a cervical spondylitis, because this is very good for cervical spondylitis. Any sort of shoulder joint exercise is good for cervical spondylitis. And people having frozen shoulders should also do this. Keep your hands straight. Move it clockwise 3 times. Move it anti-clockwise 3 times. We will do it once again. And straight. Move it clockwise 3 times. Move it anti-clockwise 3 times. Once again. Anti-clockwise. Keep your hands straight. Inhale and up. Exhale and again. Inhale and up. Exhale down. Inhale and up. Exhale and down. Relax. Now we do the exercise for the middle. Keep your legs shoulder wide. Keep it here. And move your weight clockwise. A full big circle. 1, 2, 3. The anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Let us do it once again. Clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Now we do the hip joint exercise. We will do abduction and adduction. Abduction means when the leg goes away from the body. Abduction, like abducting a child. So 1, 2, 3. If you're not in balance, there is a secret of maintaining balance of sitting up. Just look at one position. You'll get a balance. 1, 2, 3. Forward also. 1, 2, 3. Left leg. 1, 2, 3. We will do for the back also. Abduction. 1, 2, 3. Left leg. 1, 2, 3. Now we have done this for the hips. Now let us do this for the knees. Move it clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Once again we do it clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Anti-clockwise. 1, 2, 3. Now we do the ankle. Keep the leg. And can you see my leg? Yeah. Just leg forward, backward, left, right, clockwise, anti-clockwise. Similarly, left leg ahead, backward, left, right, clockwise, anti-clockwise. That's fine. Please do not take this Sukshma Vyayam lightly. Stretchings are very important, and if possible, whenever you can teach all the senior Sukshma Vyayam. This is good for arthritis people, any sort of joint issue. Very good. Today, first we will do the exercise of Pawan Muktasana. And Pawan Muktasana is a very important exercise. Pawan Muktasana should not be done by people who is having backache or hernia problem. Rest of the people can do it. People who is having a bloating problem on the stomach, they should do Pawan Muktasana. Anybody who is gastric problem, gas problem should do Pawan Muktasana. Pawan Muktasana is good to reduce your weight. Very effective for digestion. How do you do Pawan Muktasana? The starting position of Pawan Muktasana is lying down on your back. Keep both the hands facing your floor. First, we will do it with one leg. Take the left leg, slowly lift, bend it, bring it towards chest, lift your head, and try to touch your chin to the knee. Release. Release. Take the right hand, slowly lift, bring, lift your head, touch the chin to the knee. But we open this press. Lift the leg slowly to the chest. Bring your chin, touch the knees, and breathe for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now take the right leg, bring it to the chest, Let your chin to knee. Breathe for 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, keep both the joint together and lift both legs to chest and take chin to knee. Lift both legs to the chest, edge the chin to the knees, pull down the spine, breath. Relax. When you back, go slowly. All the action will be very slow and very easy. Once again, join both legs and only lift the chest, hold your knees, pull it close to the chest, bring the edge to the knee, take a steady position, breathe for 5 breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Slowly bring the leg to the floor. Let us do it one more time. Last time. Exhale. Pull leg. Both the legs together. Hold it. With your chest. With your chin. Touch your knees. Hold on. Slowly relax. Leave it slowly. Good. Now we are going to do Setu. Same position, lie down on the floor. Position, lie down on the floor. The benefit of Setu is who are having backache. Benefit a lot by Setu. It's very good for people who are having a backache, who are having constipation problem. Lie on your back, relax, pull with your legs near your butt as close as possible. The legs should be in line with your inner. Hold ankles, put your ankle, and just push your hips to the ceiling. This manner. This is also a bridge position. It is very good for depression, back pain, constipation. Just push your hips in. Relax. Relax. Let us do it again. Bring both the legs to your buttock. Both the legs to your buttock. Catch both ankles. Push your hips to the seat. As much as you can push the hips to the knee and concentrate on your breath. Like slowly rise back to the floor. Slowly bring your lips back to the floor. Slowly flat. We do once again. Bring both the legs to the butt, close to the butt. Hold your ankles tight. Push your to the ceiling as much as possible. This position, very good for backache, very good for function, for your breath. Out your slowly, exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly bring your hips back to floor. Slowly extend your both. Relax. Now we are going to do Shavasana. Shavasana is very good to reduce the fat. Shavasana will reduce the fat of your thighs and butt. Shavasana will reduce the fat stomach. Very good for management. Shavasana will not be anybody doing hernia or ulcer. They should not Shavasana. Rest everybody fit. Lie down on your stomach. Lie down on your stomach. Both the hands should face the floor. Both arms should face the floor. Both legs together. Chin should be on the floor. Chin should be on the floor, not the forehead. And slowly lift the left leg as high as possible. The pressure should be on the hands and the back. You notice that your knee is not touching the floor. The knee should not touch on the floor. Rest of the body is in the floor. The knee, the leg, left leg is on the air. Bring it down, relax. Now the right leg, lift it as high as you can. Slowly relax, bring it down. Now we do once again, but we hold on for breath. The left leg, take it up. 1, 2, 3, 4. Slowly bring it down slow. Now the right leg, take it up as much as possible. Very good to reduce the fat of the stomach, butt, and the thighs. Relax. Now you are going to lift both the legs together. The legs should lift. Legs should leave the floor from the knees onward. The knees should not be touching on the floor. Okay. Inhale. Lift both the legs. Press the pump to the floor, then you can lift the leg up. Slow leg. Now we do again, but we hold on for 5. Inhale and do it again. Lift. 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Once again, lift both the legs together. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 5. Bring the legs to the floor. Just do it last time. It's a very good exercise and very good asana. Okay, inhale, up, and 2, 3, 4, 5. Flex. Next, what we are going to do is Makrasana. How do you do Makrasana? The left hand, bring it to the above your head. Keep the face on the floor. The right hand on the right side like this. The legs should be wide apart. And as if you're sleeping, relax. This is Makrasana, the crocodile pose. It is good for relaxation. After any asanas, which is tough, like today we did Pavanamuktasana and Shalbasana, which is tough, we should do Makrasana so that we relax. Relax for 10 breaths. Left hand above the head, right hand on the right shoulder, beside the right shoulder, face lying on the left side of the cheek on the floor, legs wide apart. This position is Makrasana. Good for relaxation. Okay, slowly get up from the side. And sit back. Okay, good. Question I want to ask you all is, what is the difference between yoga asana and doing an exercise? Now what I've done is called asana. Why? Why asana? It could be called exercise also. When we go for a walk, we walk with our feet. The time flies and we go. Later we know that we are walking. It's not just a physical activity. When we do yoga, our mind is on the breath. So we are using our mind, we are using our breath, and we are using our body. So when there is a combination of mind, breath, and the body, it is yoga. So if anybody asks you what is the difference between yoga and exercise, in yoga, the mind, the breath, and the body is involved. Today we do Kapalabhati. You know what is Kapalabhati? Kapalabhati is to clear the congestion in the chest. Kapalabhati is just forceful exhalation. You have to do continuous forceful exhalation. Today we will be doing 30 rounds of exhalation. It's very good for building your immunity. Kapalabhati should be recommended anybody who is having an asthma problem. Take a deep inhalation and 30 exhalation. Let us do it once again. Deep inhalation and 30 forceful exhalation. Once again, we do Kapalbhati, 30 exhalation, forceful exhalation. All your dormant air from your lungs come out from the stomach. Kapalbhati is a kriya, it is pranayama, it is a kriya. Kriya means to clear the impurities of your body. So it is clear dirty air from your body. Now let us do Brahmari. Brahmari pranayama. Brahmari means the humming of the bee. How do you Brahmari? Look carefully. This is the 5 fingers. The thumb should be kept on the ear. The little finger should be below lips. The ring finger should be kept over the lips. The middle finger should be kept right on the nose. And the index finger should be kept on the eyes. Now, guys, again I repeat, the thumb should be on the ear. The little finger should be below the lips. Ring finger over the lips. Middle finger lightly on the nose. And index finger on the eyes. Now you take the procedure is you take a deep breath and press the fingers so that your ears are closed, your eyes are closed, and your nose closed. And then slowly exhale the nose by releasing slowly the nostrils with a humming on. Let's do it. Take a deep breath. The fingers and slowly exhale. This is Brahmari pranayama. We will do this 3 times. Brahmari is very good for people who is an high blood pressure. Brahmari is good to release stress fast. Every day doing just Brahmari will relax full body. It is even good for complexion. Do Brahmari once again. Little finger below the rings above the lips, the middle finger nose, the index finger eyes, and we do 3 times. Take a deep inhalation, press the finger, and slowly breathe. This will give you instant relaxation. One will find when he is stressed, his mind is full of thoughts. If you do Brahmari, instant relaxation. Now everybody just close your eyes, relax. Just notice your breath, observe your breath. See how you are inhaling, how you are exhaling. Observe how inside the air is going, what you inhale, whether it is going to the abdomen or the chest. Observe how you are exhaling, how far the air exhaled is going. The air inhaled, is it cool or warm? Air exhaled, is it cool or warm? Is the air filling up all the lung parts? Just observe, don't control your breath. Observe breath. This meditation, dhyana, you're just observing with taking part on and observing how your breath flows. Is inhalation and exhalation taking the same time, or is exhalation taking more time? Don't control, let it naturally flow. You are an outsider, a soul who is observing your body. Please don't control your breath. Just observe. Is the inhalation more from the left nostrils or the right nostrils? Is exhalation from the left, right? Is the quantity inhaled equal to the quantity exhaled? Just observe your breath. Today we did Sukshma Vyayam. Today we did Pavan Muktasan. Pavan Muktasan is a must for any person who is above 40%. It saw the gas from gastric use. It reduced the blocking of the stomach. People that I am not eating things to my stomach blocking. It is good for it reduces today's exercise, today's afternoon, everything is for big relaxation. We did Setu Bandhasan, which is good for back pain and constipation. Then it's Shalvasan. Shalvasan is a difficult asana, but one of the best asana to reduce weight is the thighs, each stomach, and now we conclude that we will maintain a good health for doing our duty toward our family, work, society, human peace and harmony. Put your hands, palm your eyes, your face, open your eyes with a smile. Thank you. Thank you everybody for giving me for this session. Thank you.